Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the weekly timetable. This is for the weeks of. Wait a minute, why isn't the. Okay, the counter was stuck. I was like, wait, we're not recording. It was stuck at 0:00, and then it jumped to 6 seconds. Anyway, this is the weekly timetable for the weeks of April, or the week singular, of April 21st, 2019. I am your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral or Train Man. Maybe I should really push that rebranding through now that we're now that I'm in a new place. Speaking of which, welcome to the new place. It's really not much to look at right now, but we've got Kirk and Spock. They're back. I've got a map over there along with some other pictures that you can't really see. I don't know. We've got some stuff. The room's kind of full of junk right now. It's much less full than it was yesterday, but there's still a lot that needs to happen at this house, including hooking up of the server, which I will get onto in a minute. You know what? The fact that the window is behind me is a little bit annoying. I'm going to close these blinds. So, other way, maybe. That's a little bit better. At least this way, there'll be less of the glowing aura around my head. Jacob Durbin. Hey, Jader. Is this a Cribs reboot? No, I've only got one crib, so it would just be a crib reboot. MTV Cribs. Hi, David Mitchell. So, I mean, you guys can ask questions. I'll try to field questions about the house. We can have an extra long video today. I'm really just waiting for people to come around for the Terminus podcast. But as soon as I wrap this up, I'm going to be running the wire, which I don't know where those went. You know what? I hesitated to call them groceries because they're just wires, but I might have left them in. Did I get a drill? Can I get a drill? Here's my drill. Oh, it's plugged into the wall. I can't bring it over here. It's plugged into the wall behind the couch. It's a big friggin' drill. Our house base boosted. Today marks 5 years of me doing YouTube. Congratulations, David Mitchell. I don't know how long I've been doing it, but it's been quite a while. It's been an adventure the whole time. And as has this house been an adventure. But I have a big drill. I have a big fat paddle bit to make holes in the floor with, or one big hole, more like. Or a spade bit, if you're going to be specific about it. What is on my... There's a smudge of, like, blue crap on my desk. I don't like that. Anyway. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be making the podcast tonight, and that will resume normal video production. I'm sorry that I've been MIA, but things have been very busy, very stressful, of course, between work just being super busy on its own and, you know, the whole move thing. It's been a lot. It's been a huge amount. Matthew Bacon says, this is new and exciting. Yes, it is new and exciting. It is a lot to suddenly be a homeowner after less than a year ago I was in college. So, again, we have some returning favorites, those guys in the background. But aside from that, it's a totally new sort of area. There's much less depth to it. Although, you guys saw me stand up and walk over there earlier. The room is a little bit bigger than, Yeah, I didn't realize chat was going to be on this week's timetable. Hopefully they get to stay in here. Hopefully Madison approves them hanging out in here. Heckin' Trekkie. I'm going to send you a giant poster for the background of the giant train poster. Okay, but you can't see them. But behind the corner of the desk over there, I have about 1 million posters. So I definitely don't need more posters. In fact, one of the pictures over there is actually... Let me see if I can grab it. Where is it? Is it this? Is it this? No, it's this. Graham will appreciate this. This was on the wall in my old house, but you guys couldn't see it. Ta-da! So this is going somewhere. Let me slide this back in though. Everything's like stacked up. If you guys can even hear me. But everything's stacked up. No, it needs more foamy posters. Yes, Ellis is also part of the flannel gang. I know. I just got a couple of these. So I wear a lot of button-downs, of course, for work. But I just got a couple of these and a couple of, I think, Apartment 9 is the brand, button-down shirts for work. They're very nice. They are really nice. I have to recommend that brand. Probably expensive, but they were a gift, so I don't know how expensive they are. I'm not gonna ask. I'm just appreciative to have a couple more shirts, especially long sleeve ones, especially warm ones, because before this past winter, I hadn't actually worked. I need a big. No, I don't. No, I don't want a big belt buckle. Uh, I had actually not worked during the winter for my company, so now I have to, be warm. No, no big belt buckle. I'm not a big belt buckle kind of guy. This is not Texas. Uh, get the horses in back. Why do you guys want me to have a belt buckle? God damn it. No. Anyway, so this whole loan you my cowboy boots. They'd get some funny licks in Rhode Island. Let me tell you that. Um, but that behind me is going to be Madison's desk. We're going to replace it sooner or later. It's probably going to go upstairs. But, this place is going to get decked out. It's kind of bland right now. A lot of white walls. Not too much in the way of posters. This is probably one of the only rooms that doesn't need the walls to be redone. The bedroom probably doesn't need it. Well, the stuff in this part of the house doesn't need it. The rest of the house is almost all wallpaper and needs to come down and be replaced. Needs a shelf layout. Actually, Madison and I have kicked around the idea of running some G-scale around to take stuff between rooms, just for kicks, just for fun. I'm not really sure how feasible it would be, but we've talked about it just as like, yeah, that seems like, we could do that. That'd be kind of entertaining. But the curve radii on G-scale, the curve radii for G-scale, it makes things a little tight. So, being able to do that, I'm not really sure how feasible it would be. Especially, there's lots of doors in the way. And if anything, it would be like at this height. I don't know. It would take a lot of thought. It's maybe like a pet product for future. I don't think I'm not certainly planning that. I'm certainly not planning on ever moving out of this house. So we can do whatever we want with it. Madison and I can do whatever we want. HO scale gang. Yeah, I know. I have HO scale too. But the thing is, and also the reason I'm not going with O is it's just not big enough. My chair is falling apart. If I want to take stuff between rooms with a train, then I need something bigger than HO scale. The server will be, again, I'm going to drill my holes and get the server up probably once we're done with this. This is the kind of thing that most people joke about, but Ellis is serious. I'm always serious. My chair really is falling apart. I keep pulling off pieces of the upholstery. It's awful. I got it reupholstered not long ago. Did you get the link I sent you on Skype? Yes, I did, but I don't think I don't remember reading it. Sorry. Graham's excited. Get the absolute unit of the MTH-GG1. Is that a G-scale thing? Is there an MTH G-scale GG1? I know there is a G-scale UN of 51. I've seen that before, and I want it. So, I'll get that. That would be able to haul all my stuff. But, yeah, so, it's O scale, but it's a thick boy. No. So, yeah, hopefully making the podcast tonight. This week, at work, I need to use the LGB040 for tight turns. Yeah. I'm working in Rhode Island probably all week. I also have to do some site work, and I'll be working this coming weekend. I have to do counts at the train stations, in Warwick and in Providence for something, for RIDOT. I don't know. Yes, Rhode Island foam, but I'll be there doing my job, so I can't just foam. But that's pretty much it. I'll be around. They're in the car, right? Where'd I put my backpack? Oh, it's over there. I've got a pair of clickers into the train, out of the train. I have some rail stuff that you can talk about into broadcast. If you're not in the Terminus guest list, you can post links in there. Unfortunately, the link to join has been disabled because we had too many Russian bots. Take pics of foam. Well, I'll be a little bit busy counting people, but maybe I'll take some pictures if something really interesting comes around. Anyway, that's my work week. It's going to be a hopefully relatively normal work week, except for the fact that I'm working on Saturday and Sunday. I haven't had the time to write anything or do any horsemen or make any videos, as you guys know, because, what do you know? There haven't been any videos. I wanted to do a couple of streams, and maybe to catch up on Tolbrand, I will do Graham. Graham, I was going to get to that. I lost my train of thought. I might do some streams and stuff to catch up. We might do a Minecraft stream on Tuesday because 1.14 is going to be released and we'll have the server up. Speaking of which, the new IP for the server should be 108.34.183.85. That is, to repeat, 108.34.183.85. Is 183. Yeah, 183. That is tomorrow. Why do you say tomorrow? I keep thinking about it. Graham's got that stuck in my head. Yeah, Graham's got it written down. Hopefully that's correct. I did check it before the podcast, and hopefully I wrote it down correctly. Or not the podcast, before this show. You know what I mean. Anyway, Timetable is now turned into a number station. Yeah. The buzzer, UVB76. So, the biggest piece of news, of course, is that I'm here in the house. Madison is at work, else she would be here. We have the Amtrak Heritage Unit 822 came by my house today. I got pulled by 822 when I took the Lakeshore Limited to Cleveland, the first time I went to Cleveland. And also, my 940 is back. I had to trade cars with my mechanic because I've only got one set of plates right now. But the 940 is back in town. And she runs really well, honestly. I need to replace the brakes, but the car itself, the engine, is running flawlessly. It is gorgeous, as a matter of fact. For sitting in storage for 4 months, fending off squirrels on her own, she runs really well. This is a 1994 Volvo 940 blue, no fog lights, old square body. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad I have my car back. It's a little bit hairy to drive it around right now because of the brakes, but thankfully I won't be doing too much driving with it. The other nice thing is that if I do have to go to Boston, I can take a bus from the end of my road directly to Providence Station. It's like 17 stops, but, $2. And it'll get me there. It'll get me there. Did I say 4 months? I meant 4 years. Yeah, sorry. It'll get me there in time for the train that I normally would take to Boston. Because the train sits in Providence Station for 10 minutes or so after it arrives. You know what? My hands have been down here tucked. I can't talk. I can't talk. I can't maintain a train of thought when my hands are pinned up under my legs. So, it's actually fairly convenient for me. And I just got a ton of ones because I had to go fax something. And they broke my $20 bill into like 14 ones and a 5, or however many ones and a 5. And now I have ones to take the bus. I was worried about that because I know I would need to break it into ones or get change or, get a 10 ride pass or something like that. And I wasn't, really going to go out and just go to CVS to say, hey, break this. Speaking of stores nearby my house, though, there is a Stop and Shop down at the end of the road. For those of you who are not New Englanders, Stop and Shop is just a large grocery chain, and they have been on strike now for over a week, I think. And I believe they just reached a tentative agreement to end the strike, which is really nice because, again, they're down the end of the road. We don't have to go over to the next town to go to a supermarket. I wasn't going to break the picket line. Stop and Shop did have managers and temp employees in the store to, run some of the tills and stock shelves and stuff like that. But those are not the normal employees. The employees were on strike. So, you're welcome, Matthew Bacon. So I'm really glad to see that they're, A, back in the store and employed. But also, I just am happy to see the store actually running like it's supposed to, because we can just walk down the hill practically. Not today because it's pouring rain, but we can walk down the hill and get groceries. Speaking of which, it is pouring rain, and I don't hear it anymore, but I had a dehumidifier downstairs running to sort of keep the water at bay, because this house does have a bit of a water problem, and I don't hear it anymore. I had two of them, then one of them went weird, and then the other one stopped, I guess. But also I see a stable gun for me, so I can go put up these cables whenever I figure out where I actually put them. Hopefully they're not in Madison's car. If they are, we're going to have to wait a little while for this server to come back. Yeah, I'm not going to tape up my whole basement, unfortunately. Anyway, if you guys have questions, comments, anything you want me to talk about, whether it's about the house, about my car, cars, about work, anything, I can answer stuff really succinctly here, but my recommendation, as always, is go find the most recent under construction, post a nice fat comment there, and I will respond to it on the next under construction, which should be on Thursday. I should be filming it. So that means for this week, we have this and the podcast coming today. The podcast probably isn't going to come out today, but why do I need tables to set up the server? Cables, not tables, Graham. I have a little cotton mouth, I guess. But yeah, I had to buy a few 50-foot Ethernet cables. So yeah, so hopefully this week is going to be nice and action-packed for me and for making videos. We've got ideally the podcast today, if we can gather up the people. Tomorrow, Minecraft stream. Wednesday, War Thunder. Thursday, under construction. And maybe even a little stream to accompany that. And Friday, making the zombie train as usual. And then we'll roll into the weekend with, some free time. What about this week's locomotion? Well, we have Madison back in here. She said she wanted to do locomotion with me and record it and post it. So that may be coming in the not-so-distant future whenever we get our lives a little bit back in order. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Train Man out.